Hello there. Welcome to the Word Cafe podcast. This podcast has been designed with created content that centers on the power of words. Can we really do anything without speaking? Can we really do anything without the agency of words? Yes, that is what this podcast is all about. And I am your host, Amakri Isobe, your neighborhood word trader. I believe in the power of words, for it is the unit of creation. I trade in words to profit my world. And we're back. You know how we say it on the show. I'm going to begin with those lines. I won't forget that. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Good everything, wherever you are on the surface of the earth at this very particular instant, hearing my voice. How are you? What's it like at your end? I need to ask, I need to know, because knowing that you're always there listening to me gives me this, butterfly feeling in my tummy. I'm good. I'm very well. I think globally there's this kind of, they call it summer in some places, but it's raining in some places. Yeah, it's been raining where I am, but can't complain. Like we say, the rains are good. They help us also. Yes, we're back. What are we going to be doing today? You're seeing it already. The story of my life. It's not me. It's a wonderful individual. I won't call his name until he comes on. My daughter saw his name and she started asking all sorts of questions. But when he comes on, you're going to see his name and we're going to begin from there. He is, how do I describe him? A powerhouse. He has this, what I call it, stature that when you see him and you say he's in IT, you find it difficult to believe that that's where he is. And he has built this powerful presence beyond IT. And he has, he's more or less like holding the conversation about fatherhood, manhood, and all of that. Enough of my talking. I know you want to hear his voice, and I know you want to see his face, and I'm going to bring him up just about now. And there he is. Chinda.
Hello, my brother Amakre. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm really excited to be here. I'm happy. It's a great day. It's a new day.
Beautiful. Before we came on set, I was telling you, back in, and my daughter saw your name and she was like, "Excuse me, Daddy. Why is he answering Chinda? Which is his name? Which is his father's name?" And I said, they're both his name and they're both his father's name. So she just looked at me. I was like, "Daddy, I don't understand." And she just left. And each time so many of us see your name, that comes to us. Chinda. And those of us from Nigeria, particularly Nigeria, it's like Chinda, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Welcome to the Word Cafe Live Show. So who is this wonderful personality? Chinda. Let's get to meet you.
Wow. Thank you so much. In a nutshell, Chinda is a passionate motivational transformational speaker. Is someone that loves life, relationship, high performance. I'm also an LLP practitioner. I'm a writer. I'm an author. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a preacher. I'm an IT consultant, like you said. We can talk about that later. And also, I'm a passionate youth and young adult leader and mentor. But overall, I see myself as someone that has been gifted to at both the singles, the youngs, the professionals, the fathers, the men, in all dimensions, in order to help them harness their abilities, their potentials, in order to overcome all kinds of life hurdles, relationship hurdles, parental hurdles, fatherhood hurdles, so they can come out on the other side to build an incredible, stable, and amazing life for themselves and their families.
Amazing. Your background speaks, attest to what you're just saying, and you're surrounded by many books, they're all around you. It speaks to what you're saying now. The multifaceted nature of your personality and what you do. It's amazing. But I want us to start today because you have an amazing story, which I think and I know My audience needs to hear you and, get this thing from you also. So let's get to start with your story, how it all began for this Chinda.
Anytime that question is answered, is asked, is quite a moment for me to just look back and reflect how far I have come. I came from a family of 36 children. My dad had 3 wives, and I was number 28 at the time. Though I've lost couple at the moment. But while growing up in such an environment, it was a difficult place to be. It was about trying to survive. And my dad was always trying to look for a way to help us, to support us. He wasn't an educationalist. In fact, the day my father was to start school, that was the day the father died. And he's a man that was born 1918. So it's such a long time ago. So when he was to start primary one, that very day the father died. And he was the last born in the house. So there was no way he could go to school. So he decided to go into farming. So all my life from my siblings, everything we knew was about farming, cassava, and going to possibly find rabbits that we can use for meat, with my dad. But there's something that my dad always tried to do. He ensured that even though he didn't go to school, he will do everything to support us to go to school. And I remember my dad, we might not have every other thing, but there's something I can remember. In fact, me and my brother was talking about this recently. My dad will buy the 2B exercise book. He doesn't buy one. He'll buy them in packs and packs. And then he will buy all the pencils. He will buy the biro, the big biros. And then he will just put them in his room. So nobody will say, I don't have a book to write. Okay. But you might not have fancy clothes. You might not have any amazing toy. There was no birthday in my family until I was 24 years old, and that was when even I was abroad. So there was nothing like that. But I know that there was pen to write A, B, C, and stuff like that. And I also started school. I used slate, and for those that will still remember slate.
So the first, exactly.
Yeah. So we used slate
and chalk.
And chalk, exactly. So growing up back home in Africa, it was very difficult, and there was no really a phenomenal life to look up to. The environment wasn't entirely great. It was very toxic. There was always fighting, violence, and all that. And I just found myself in that place by default because that was where I was born. But I think the whole thing started changing when I encountered Christ. I'm not ashamed to always bring this up. It doesn't matter what anybody believes. People have their own awakening. People have their own realization in different ways.
Yeah.
But I never had my own reawakening in any way. It happened after I gave my life to Christ as a teenager at the age of 16 in a scripture union camp in Port Harcourt. Now, when I came back, prior to this time, I was someone that was always playful, fighting, trouble.
Sorry for cutting in there. Hold that thought. Each time I hear Port Harcourt, I can't help it but to just give accolades. We're Port Harcourt boys. We're from that zone.
All right, good.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Go on, my brother.
So, the interesting thing again is, when that happened, I came back home. It was just different. I realized that, a lot of time I use in playing, I could use it for something else. The unnecessary going out. Remember, there was no close father monitoring and mentorship and direction because there were so many of us. And I can't blame him today for not having one-to-one time with me, because there was no way he could do that with so many children crying, jumping around, and a lot of them causing problem everywhere. So, but when I gave my life, my mindset started shifting. It's like something started happening, and I was privileged to have a little bit of people that could mentor me. This is why mentorship and leadership is so powerful. So I saw these people as well. They would give me some books and they would tell me to read this, to read that, and I started going through some of these things, and my eyes started opening up. And then I started kind of a little bit doing good in school at the time, but the whole thing changed. went to University of Maiduguri, human anatomy, came to University of Pretoria, South Africa, human physiology, came to the UK, all right, biomedical science. I've been running around trying to do medicine and all that, but as you can tell. But when I came to the UK, honestly, that was when I knew that there was something called the Ministry of Poverty. I didn't realize that poverty is a ministry. You can be caged in that place. So I came to London thinking that from South Africa that, wow, as I was told, you can just get £10,000 in 2 days and all these kind of things. Wow. Where I was just trying to patch in London, 6 months, I haven't paid my rent. They kicked me out. And I didn't have any money. And when I call back home to say, please, they should send me. I remember asking my mom to send me £20 because I was hungry. I didn't have anything. And my mom said I should go and tell the white people to bring me back because they used to bring people free. I won't pay transport to come back. That's our own explanation of
to
deportation.
repatriate you back
To
home.
repatriate me back. So, it was very, very difficult. And I wanted to also be in school at the same time. So at the time, 2004, 2005, 6, it was unbelievable, horrible. Throughout that period, sometimes I don't even eat. Sometimes I can't even barb my hair because then to barb hair was £1.20. I don't even have it. So my friends use a blade to remove all my hair so that it could last for at least a month or two. Okay.
Wow.
I wasn't able to purchase any clothes. I used to buy clothes £3-2 in second-hand shops just to keep myself going. And it was tough. It was really hard. But I think where it challenged my being is when I went for a security job, and it's like a lifeline to me. And I walked more than 3 hours within London to get there because I could not buy the London day ticket at the time. Yeah, at the time it was about £3.20, but all I had was about £2, so I couldn't afford the whole day ticket. And for those that understand London, living from New Cross and walking down to Wantleslow, you understand how far it is. It's crazy. I was using the map to navigate my way, and I was there just 15 minutes late. And the white man said, sorry, get out of my office, you are late. I say, I've been traveling for more than 3 hours walking because I couldn't afford transport. I pleaded, I begged. He said, no. I actually knelt down, begging the receptionist, please, that I don't have any, that please, you have mercy. They say no. So I left. I went to Wantleslow station. I cried. I wept like 45 minutes. It's like the whole world was against me because I haven't eaten. I can't even pay my rent. I was managing a particular place. I was asked to patch, but I was in the people's what we call shed. It's not like garage. It's like shed, and it's so dilapidated. Water is even dropping, and that was where I used to change when I take shower in their bathroom. I will come out and then I will go out there to start to change because they allow me to stay in their living room, what we call parlor in Nigeria, their living room, in one sofa area. So I was just managing that for almost 2 years and then changing outside in the dilapidated shed behind the garden, but trying to just survive. And don't forget, I tried to get into school. Remember, there's no money coming from home. I had to look after myself. So I tried to do a couple of jobs. I remember a particular semester, I could not even pay anything. For a whole 4 months, the money I could get was just so tiny, so I couldn't register. So I didn't have registration for the entire 4 months. And then when I tried to pay something little in the second term, I was in the lab as a biomedical scientist, and then two people just walked in. Who is Mr. Chinde here? I raised up my hand. They say, you've not paid your full school fees and you're here. You're not insured to be here. Get out. Everybody was there. I almost wanted to enter the ground. It was so humiliating. So they kicked me out. So I was out there again trying to look for cleaning job, care work, security, pizza delivery, everything you can think about. But it was very difficult. And again, I didn't have any license at the time. So I can't even do some of the job I was looking forward to. But after I came back from that security job that I couldn't get, someone gave me a book called, and I always recommend this book all the time, The Power of Positive Thinking by Vincent Norman Peale. Yeah. And then another one was Born to Win by Zig Ziglar, Oh my goodness. After I read that book, it's like a double light just shone into my soul. And I begin to realize that the things have to change. That it's not just about the environment, my mindset, my association. And then through that book, I started realizing the power of personal development. So I started going into different free events in London. They will say free this, free that. So anywhere I saw anything free, I will find myself there, because I didn't really have job that I could go to. So when I stay there, they will talk about, belief, they talk about mindset, they will talk about this and that and that. And then when they say, okay, the program is £4,000, before they finish talking, I'm out of the door because I know
You've taken what you came for.
Exactly. I'm taking the freebies. And then I remember one hotel, there were about 4 different programs. I entered this one, is free. When it was time for people to start paying for the program, I went to the other one again. I keep collecting free. By the time I finished the free ministry that evening, I look at my notes, I say, wow, I've learned a lot of things there. Back, I trekked back again. I couldn't even afford the bus or anything. I trekked back. But that started changing my mind. And then when I go into this environment, I see all these men, all these women talking about how they are doing some in their careers, their business, calling numbers. Wow. I said, wow, this is beautiful. This is so nice. And then I started desiring to be based on, what Norman Vincent Peale said in that book. And then also Zig Ziglar said all those things. So I started believing, I started, born to win, started trusting and all that. And then, my brother, that was where the whole thing started changing, even though I was in school at the time. And then I was able to get a security job. I was able to get a care work. I was able to get a cleaning job, all combined, doing all this job. But I knew that I was going somewhere. With that, I was able to pay my school fees. And then the genesis of the transformation began from there.
Your story is mind blowing. Like I said before, at the beginning of the show, each time I go back to your story, because somehow we belong to this family, so we know our stories. And I said, I need to bring you on the show for my audience to hear your story. It is like from zero to 100 and above and beyond. But look at what you have said so far. I was about stopping you, but I said, no, let me allow him pour it out. Like, we need to hear how he built it, where he came from. You discovered the power of words, power of association, the right company, mindset, re-engineering, all of this. So when we hear these things out there, certain people will say it's just motivational speaking and all that. You are a testimony to all of this. You are like, look at me, just look at me. I am a testimony to what you call motivational speaking, because I was nowhere. But by the reason of quote and unquote motivational speaking, I am here today. You have an amazing story. So how did you now, when I say evolve to what we are looking at today, the chinda, that, by the way, that your suit, I'm saying it now for my audience here, that your suit. We're going to get to that suit part. Tell us, how did you get to this particular point in time now?
So as I continued in my studies, even still trying to get out of it, one of the challenging things was this, and most people don't know this. I found love, okay, which is my wife, incredible and amazing woman. Now, my wife family background is affluent, okay. My background, I've just told you, I was in the poverty ministry department, and then she was in the prosperity ministry department. So it was completely, totally different thing.
Also, I like that. Opposites attracting now.
Like opposite. I think I'll have to say that exactly. Extreme opposite attracted. And the interesting thing is that at the moment, even though I had nothing, even though there was nothing to write home about. And my wife came from that background, which I knew her back in Port Harcourt, but also met her here. And in the process, I was in school. This is very important. I need to say this. I was in school, got married to my wife when I was in year 2 in the UK doing that other degree here. I was in year 2. She was in year 1. Now, my wife and me, I just felt, I think it's time. I was 28. I said, I want to get married. Now, don't forget, I'm getting married in the ministry of poverty. This is very important. This is very important. Now, my wife, I'm marrying somebody that is from the ministry of prosperity, and then poverty is coming in. So, but I said, what did you see in me? Remember all the associations, the programs that have been going and all that. If you hear me talk, you think I have $45 billion. So my wife could see vision.
Which actually you do.
My wife saw vision. She saw this ambitious person. She saw dreams. She saw goals. And then she approached the family and said, look, this person said, want to marry me. And it wasn't easy. The family said no. They said no because of my poverty ministry department. It wasn't because of my character or anything. They loved all the parts, but it's the poverty side. And she coming from the department of prosperity into poverty is going to be very challenging, very difficult. Guess what? She said that she's seen something that nobody's seen now, and she's going to stick around. Brother, I want to be honest. I want to be honest here. I went to marry my wife with 564 pounds. I will say that again. 564 pounds in 2008. In fact, when she spoke to the dad, eventually, the dad was the permanent secretary of Rivers State Education at the time. So when he spoke to him, he was a bit, he was the only one that asked me a question. He said, okay, where do you want to be in 5 years, in 10 years? He started asking me all kind of questions. I started elaborating and breaking it down. Okay, so he asked me, do I have saving? I said, no saving. It's just all I have. This is all I have. He said, do you have money for the marriage? I said, I will tell my parents, maybe we need to sell my land. Let's see what I can do as a liquidity, see if I can get 1 or 2 land to sell.
Oh my goodness.
So, but I realized that even my land has traveled.
The value.
That's what I used. It's gone. So he said, okay, that's fine. He's the first daughter. And then he called the wife. That's why I love my wife. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm saying this thing publicly. This woman deserves everything that I have. Do you know, the father asked her, do you know you're going to be suffering with this man? As he's a student, he doesn't have anything, just barely doing cleaning job and all that. Because when he takes over, I'm not going to be like, I'm direct, because he's going to be the one looking. So he now asked her, are you willing to suffer? She said yes. So he now told her, you will suffer with him for a while, but I know everything will be fine. Are you willing to suffer until everything is fine? She said yes. My brother. It's okay, fine, let's fix the date. So we did it. We went back home, we got married, we came back in one room in Kent. One room in Kent. Now, that one room, we're not staying there as student. My wife got pregnant. My brother, it was difficult. Both of us are in school. Oh, my children were looked after by some of my amazing classmates in the University of Greenwich. They would take the child, they were babies. We were both of us in school, right? But it was difficult, even while that was happening. The reason why I'm bringing this in up, my brother, I will go to night shift. I will come back. I will do my homework. I will look after her with the child, and then I will go for cleaning job. About 3 different jobs. Do you know? At the end, I came out with first class. By medical
Say that again.
I came out with first class. Amazing. Now, when I went for the award, I was carrying the 2 babies. There's a picture I have. My son and the other one. They are literally 2 little boys in my hand. The professor. One of the professors came out. I said, excuse me, you mean you were married all this while? You mean you no. The professor said, no, can you be honest? How did you do it? Do you mind to explain how you did it? By medical science? first class, graduating with all this award, and you're telling me how? He said if it was him, he would not have 2-2. That's what he said. He can't even manage to have 2-2. How did I do it? I just said, well, it wasn't easy. Most of everything I do was in the night. I hardly slept, but that was just a difficult season of my life. And I remember my wife asking me to buy KFC or £1.99. I only have 30p. I couldn't buy. I go to the room and I'm crying and I'm weeping, and she comes with a big stomach with the second son. So why are you crying? I said, I can't even buy you KFC. She said, but that's okay. Just my cravings. I wanted to say, it's fine. Don't worry. Everything will be all right. And she goes back and sit down, and I'm just looking at her with the big stomach, and the other boy is sleeping. And I'm like, can you imagine me? I can't even buy KFC of £1.99p. Unbelievable. Wow. But this woman stuck with me. And then my brother, remember the personal development, the motivational speech. I go on YouTube at the time. I'll be listening to Tony Robbins. The power within. All these guys were gingering me, were just firing. As soon as I will come to my room, I'll say, yes, I've made it. My wife said, "It's okay, please calm down." I said, "I've made it." She said, "Okay, all right." I'll be screaming like I'm crazy. She said, I know you have made it, but just calm down. But the way you are shouting, let people not come now and say they want to borrow money from you.
Amazing.
Because we don't even have money to pay rent. Which are you gonna give to the people to eat?
I like that.
But we just laugh about it, and the energy was fire. Through all this suffering and pain and challenges, I still hold on to Born to Win. I still hold on to my positivity. I still sneak around watching all these movies, going to London, managing to just hear these guys out and what they are doing, and then continue to read just to get things. My brother, when I finished, and that was where I went and started walking. In the process of walking, I realized that things started changing for us. And I want to say this here. I was owing rent for more than 2 years. I was owing rent for more than 2 years. You know what my rent was £420.
Wow.
But my salary was £560 with all the cleaning, everything I was doing. Rent is £420. What about electricity, gas, everything you can think about? So there was no way I could even pay rent. So I was using the little money I had to survive. And I thank God for the landlord. He's an Indian man. The man is so rich, have 47 houses at the time. And I said, Chinda, listen, you're such an incredible young man. I remember myself when I came from India in early 60s. I just saw the fire, the ambition in you. So I'm just going to let you guys stay. I know that you guys are suffering now. Now, when everything is all right with you, you can pay me all the money you owe me. I said, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. My brother, that was how I was living. And the rent money was piling up. But anytime I see the rent money like this, I say, yes, I've paid you. Yay! My wife said, it's okay. We know
I would describe this as incurable positivity. You are an incurable optimist, as in your story is super, my brother. Your story is super. Against all odds. It's like the odds were stacked against you, but
everywhere
you were just looking at them like a stepping stone.
That's right. For those in the UK, we understand. They will understand what we call. They send you red letter for electricity, red letter for gas, red letter for everything. When they send you red letter, they know that your life is in trouble. And because a lot of them I couldn't pay, they gave me what we call county court judgment. County court judgment means that it's one of the destructive judgment for your financial capability in the Western world is deadly, right? But I had no choice. I couldn't, because I can't pay, right? There's no way I could pay. But I still believe that things are going to change. Things are going to turn around. And then I now went into leaving the cleaning job, then getting the care work a bit, giving a little bit of money. And then we moved there, my brother. I was not given an opportunity to do PhD. because of what I did in my undergraduate. On the genetic side, genetic sequencing and isolation of cancer cells. So Imperial College and Harvard University was having a research program, and I was just applying because I was just looking for a way to survive and transform my life. And then I applied. Guess what? I went for that interview in Imperial College. I was the only black, 4 white, 2 Indians, 1 Chinese, and then myself. So when we went through the whole rigorous everything, I came out at the top. So they offered me to do that PhD on cancer apoptosis. And then I would do 2 years in Imperial College and go to Harvard to do the remaining 2 years and then postdoc and start being a researcher in Boston. Now, my brother, by the time I sell the whole thing, I looked at myself based on Born to Win and all the thing I said, no. Even though I have this capacity to do this medical stuff and all that, but is that me? Is it truly me? Are you sure that I'm going to be okay with having relationship with test tubes, with microscopes and having a time in the lab locked up, looking at these things instead of talking to human beings? Are you sure
your audience is beyond? Your audience is beyond the laboratory. So
absolutely. So I now went to the Professor Green, an American that came from Harvard, that supervised this stuff. Yeah, and I told him, Professor Green, I'm sorry, I can't continue with this PhD. No. He said, what? No. He now said, do you have issue with your wife? Are you guys divorcing? Are you traumatized? I said, no. That is not for me. He said, Chinda, you are so good. You're the best out of all the guys we interviewed and went through the process. You have the skill. You finish here, you go to Harvard, you do another 2 years, you graduate, you work in Harvard in the research center for cancer research. You don't want that? I said, no, it's not for me. So he said, listen, I think something is wrong with you. I think there's an issue in your family. I know you don't want to say because of privacy policy. Said, he said, I'm going to give you 2 years. I'm sorry, I'm going to give you 60 months. 60 months.
Think about it.
60 months. Go and think about it because this is one of the greatest opportunity of your life. I said, okay, that's fine. And then I left. And as I left, remember my wife, she did ICT in university. And then my wife now got her first job. Do you see how our life started changing? There's a reason why I brought this story in. And then she got a job in University of Nottingham in their ICT unit. My brother, my wife worked for 3 months. My wife was paid more than £23,000. I said, no. I had to. I told my wife, is this correct? Is the real money? I saw it's in the account. Did he actually enter? I saw the money. It's figure. It's real.
The Queen man in you could not help it.
I have to validate. I have to validate if it's real. So it was when we now went to actually withdraw from Cash Point. He walked. The money came out from the Cash Point. I said, what did you do that they pay you £23,000 in 3 months? What? Business analyst. What are you businessing? Okay, hold on. And I love change. That's my personality. That's why I didn't want to go and do all those PhD thing. Yes, it's great, it's amazing, but it's not for me. And when I told a lot of people, they said, no, Chinda, maybe the devil is whispering something, evil spirit. They now ask me, what's your family lineage? Do we have people that attack people from the village? I say, I'm a Christian, no village people with me right now.
Those things are not for me.
Not for me. So it was very difficult. Even my pastor, a lot of people were worried for me. They said, how can this great opportunity, you are taking it away? I said, no, that's not for me. I'm telling you, it's not for me. So I now went and did IT. Because when I saw what happened to my wife, and I know that IT is dynamic, IT has a lot of variation, and I love changes. When I do repetitive tasks, I'm bored very easily. So that's not in my nature. Even my temperament is sanguine choleric. So you should understand that our being cannot, it's not us.
We have a lot of energy.
Exactly.
There's a lot of energy to dissipate. So if you bottle, they are now explode.
So when I went into IT, I found me. I say, wow, this is beautiful. I saw the technology, all the tools, every time things are different, it's difficult. Today, you don't know what is happening. I say, I want this. I want this. And my brother, I gave my all. For 6 weeks, I was studying to about 20 to 24 hours. I sleep only 2 hours. Sometimes I even forget I have not eaten. My wife will ask, have you eaten? I said, I thought I ate. She said, no, you haven't eaten. And I told my wife, give me 2 months. Something is about to change in this family. My brother, in 6 weeks, the job I was doing before I was paying 20,000 a year, and I saw my wife made 23,000 in 3 months. I said, how can somebody 3 months is any more than somebody a year salary? And then when I went into IT, my thing almost 5 times more than what I was earning before. And that was where now I remembered my landlord in Kent, all the arrears of rent, all the outstanding payments everywhere that I was owing. We started just clearing them off. I forgot this. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow, you still called back. I said, yeah, because the life is changing right now. So I gotta pay because I made a promise to you, and all the ones that allowed me that I will pay them when things begin to change. That is where the transformation in my life changed, and I never remained the same till now.
Chinda, life took her chance on you and you did not fail. That's what I see, that's what I hear. You know, some of us complain, I don't have help. That's why I'm where I am. And we use that like a wedge, a walking stick, and we clutch to that excuse or those excuses, and we don't push. But for you, listening to you, life took her chance on you, and you said, I will not disappoint you. And you used all the excuses as your fuel, as your energy, as your passion, propelling you to where you are today. That is, how else can one describe possibilities? You know, that's why when I told you that you're coming on this show, I know where you are today and the things you do, that I want you to talk about your beginning. Your beginning. We need to challenge young men, young women, most importantly, young men out there today who think they don't have anybody. That's not true. That's not true. Listening to your story against all odds, and to see that your wife looked at you like maybe she had a crystal ball and she's seeing the future, and she told her father, relax, I will suffer for a bit, but I'm seeing where this guy is going. That speaks volume. So we come to see that, listen, everybody, whoever listening to this very episode, life will give you what you ask for. Listen, it's amazing. It's amazing. We've heard stories of people who, in the name of, I'm from a poor background, I'm from, X this, X that, and they give up on life. But hearing your story, I know where you're from because I'm from the same place. In terms of geography, I'm talking about now. Port Harcourt. You grew up in Port Harcourt. You know, when you said the word Ikwere, I grew up in your community, so I know what I'm talking about. So I know what you are talking about. I am so happy for you. Sincerely speaking, I am. I mean, this story, I think we should keep talking about it. We should keep talking about it to challenge everybody. Now, to what you were doing presently. Time. No, maybe we'll do this in the next 5-10 minutes, because I want my audience to hear you, because presently you are in this atmosphere where you're talking about fatherhood, manhood. You're talking about the men. I will call it the male essence, the male factor. You have come to unlock the potential within that space, and you've been doing a lot within, that space of late. I wanted to share with my audience your discoveries within this space.
As a man of faith and someone that understands the dynamics of who God is, and what God wants to do with all species, especially, I'm not underrating the other species, the female.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to say that based on what I discovered within the family,
Yeah.
if a child has an encounter, a child experience any form of awakening, transformation, change, spiritual, whatever it is, the child has just less than 4% impact upon the entire family dynamics to follow the path of that reawakening or change. And then when a woman encounters a change, encounters a transformation, a dream, a development, a new vision, a new goal, a new transformation in her life, she has less than 9% to impact the entire family in following that path of transformation and change, and making sure that everybody holistically follow to that new Canaan land they want to go to.
Yeah.
But when the man encounters transformation, encounters change, the man has 93.7% capacity, ability, potential, and influence to carry the entire family to a place of total transformation and change.
Amazing.
So which means within the family dynamics, the species that has, the gender that has the greatest impact when it comes for influence, leadership, direction, vision, goal, transformation is the male. It doesn't mean that the woman does not have that capacity to do that. She could do that at her workplace a lot. She could do that in different spheres of life, spheres of influence she has. She could do that in different groups. But when it comes home, a lot of men do not entirely want the woman to influence them or want the woman to bring something that will transform the dynamics of their home. And it's because of the wiring of this, the wiring of I'm head, I'm the one leading, I'm the man, and then also the subtle negative side of ego, because ego too can be profitable depending on the way you manage it in your life, also in the dynamic of leading your home. So that ego traps men from even allowing their transformed wives, women that have encountered transformation and personal development, to change the dynamics of their home. The ego blocks the man from the woman penetrating inside the man. So, and I said, okay, I have been doing coaching. 99% of the people that seek for help, both in relationships or even the other areas of life, career, transformation, change, children, honestly, they are women. And it cuts across the board, black, white, Indian, Chinese, it doesn't matter what tribe. It is just the women that is running for help, for change, for transformation. And I asked myself, look at me. Look at me. The impact that I've had in this family and what my family as a whole, my two boys and my wife, were able to walk under a direction of a system that is working and is making them incredible, amazing, making me incredible, amazing, and we're achieving great things. It's because I'm driving it. It's not that my wife is not putting input. She is putting input. She's doing a lot of great stuff. But because I'm right at the front there, driving the vehicle, capturing the sheep, trying to do whatever I can, even though I get advice from my wife, suggestions, directions, and all that. But I'm sitting on that seat, and I can see the impact it's having both on my children, character, behavior, writing books, doing different things, getting involved in all sorts. Is because I'm driving. Now, when I see that a woman is driving and the man is on the passenger seat or sitting at the back, you will realize that even if the woman is driving, the man keeps coming there and putting legs on the brake. The legs is putting on the brake, the character, the action, the behavior, the attitude, the mannerism putting brake, and the woman is saying, allow this vehicle to move now. And then the thing is just all the time is screaming. The vehicle says, I want to move, I want to move. And the woman wants to move with the vehicle, but the man is pressing brake because it's fixed mind, because it's not willing to bend, it's not teachable. It doesn't love change. It's not eating personal development. The circle of the man is not the people that want to see things change in his life. So the entire thing becomes a massive struggle. And then I see why struggling, frustrated, upset, and listen to some of these women, brilliant minds. Oh my goodness, exceptional. If you doubt, see their workplaces, see their businesses, see something that is outside the direct control of the man. You will see the woman flourish, like absolutely killing it out there. But the moment the man get involved, most times, not all men, most times, instead of putting throttle, let us go, he's just putting it down. And some men are very uncomfortable to actually see the woman thrive and flourish and excel. Some of them feel threatened, some of them feel afraid, some of them feel, oh, she's not gonna submit, she's not gonna be obedient, she's not, they have all these different things in their head. When I looked at the whole thing and I said, wait a minute, I look at parenting. A lot of women tell me their husbands have given up on parenting. He's saying, you parent. They're not involved anymore. No, that's not what parenting is. It's not just for one gender, it's for both. Because it's not just the woman that made the babies, you were also involved. But because the men like the tools, the strategy, them personally changing. You can't want your baby to change when you are not changing, you are not flexible, you are not studying, you are not reading. Even the association of men around you are not people that are looking for transformation and change in their lives, in their family. How do you expect your own life to be different? So when I saw all these problems, issues, is this spiritual apathy as well? I see a lot of, mismanagement. Even the relationship, the woman is looking for love, for care, for support. She's not getting anything. And it's just as if the whole thing is so dry, so cold. And they are just saying, are we going to continue like this? And then the breakdown of the family system. Honestly speaking, you can just take your phone and do the research. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. Women have their issues and challenges. But hold on. Look at the statistics in America, statistics in UK, statistics in Australia. The gender with the biggest problem and challenge in any home, in any family, are not the women. Just use your phone and do the research. Go and see the data. We're talking fact now. We're not talking about what we don't know. Use fact. The men are not living up to their standard and their roles in their homes and their families. And because that is not happening, what do you expect? You see the dysfunctionality everywhere. So if we come and take our role, we'll see the change. So when I saw all these things, and I said no, and God inspired my heart. He said, men need to be high performing, men need to step up, men need to be whole. And a lot of these men don't even know that they are struggling, because sometimes in my coaching, I can see the man is traumatized. Wow, even the way he speaks, you can see trauma. Trauma is talking. The way he behaves is trauma. The way he sleep, trauma. Wake up, trauma. Going to work, trauma. Looking at the children, trauma. Everything, trauma. And immigration does not heal trauma. They are here. They are in different nice cities, nice house, driving Range Rover, but they are still traumatized in their lives. The system within the home needs to be dealt with. This is how this high-performing man came about. Say, look, I think I could do some differences here. And then, but from what now happened from the launch, oh my goodness me, the experience, what we witness. Some people say men don't talk, right? They say men don't talk. We have to switch off the camera. We have to off the video, because men talked. Men released. And I said, come and see sensitive things that is eating up men. But because we had that environment, we were not able to help each other heal. support each other, find a way to start building our homes from all aspects. Not the men that will now be leading from the back. You lead by leadership,
Okay.
by influence, and by role modeling. This is just how
Amazing.
the whole thing came about.
Amazing. I wish I could keep you here for longer, but I mean, this is, guys, you need to follow Chinda Chinda. I mean, I follow him closely. Like I said, we belong to a tribe, and we eat from the same table. So I follow him closely. And what he just described now, what as in the aspect of him that God has revealed, and he has taken it like bull, horn, tail, and carrier, all of that. You need to go check it out. It's amazing. Wives, encourage your husbands. Husbands, encourage yourself. Go and grab it. But before I call it a day on this discussion, it has been amazing. It has been amazing. It's like the time is just flying each time we get into the very crux of the matter. How do we catch Chinda Chinda? Where do we catch him? How do we connect with him? Let my audience know.
Well, thank you very much. If you type my name on Google, okay, I'm the only Chinda Chinda on the planet, so which is cool.
True.
So when you type it, a lot of things come up. We're on Instagram as Married Life Management _, my name, the Limitless Life Pro Academy, right? So we have the website, and you can send us email info@limitlesslifepro.com. You can send us info@marriedlifemanagement.com. So search for me out there and follow me, share with me, DM me, and then myself or my guys will be able to find a way to support you. But one thing I would like to say is this, just before I wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
There are 3 things I always encourage people to do for all the audience here. Number 1, at every stage of your life, there's a discovery. I used to think discovery is once. Discovery is never once. But you need to start the first discovery to get into the next discovery, the next discovery, the next discovery. Every season of your life is discovery to the day you take your last breath. And each discovery, there is something you need to do with the discovery. You don't put it on the shelf. You don't pocket it. You don't hide it. You don't put it under a bushel. You feed it. You develop it. You work on it. There could be new association, new book, new course, new interaction, new things you need to do to continue to work on that new discovery, that phase you are in. And then guess what? The last one is fight you. Don't fight anyone. Let me say it again. Fight you. Don't fight anyone. Our body is designed to keep us comfortable. It's designed not to allow us to do things that will take us out of the discovery that we have been before. Because anywhere you have been and you've achieved something, you've get something, the next thing is, wow, this is good, I'm going to stay here. But you can see the way we are designed, there is always more. There is always new. So what are you going to do? You don't fight people. Your husband, your wife, your children, your boss, your cousin, the government, the internet, the rain, the sky, your car. You don't fight any. You fight what is making you not to be better than yesterday. That's what you need to fight. Anything that will stop you from becoming better than you were yesterday, if you focus on that, you will realize that whatever anybody say about you, whatever anybody do to you, whatever anybody are acting around you, they are just acting on the level of knowledge of their own discovery. And if they discover more, they will not be attacking you. They will not be saying things. They will not even want to hinder you. They will support you. They will make sure you grow. They will work with you. So don't let anybody belittle your new discovery. Go after yourself and work on you and feed yourself and fight any form of obstacle or interference, laziness, lack of writing things down, discipline, waking up on time, connecting with your super intelligent designer God, anything that will hinder you from getting to that new level of discovery, shut it down and focus on yourself. Don't fight people. Thank you.
Amazing. Guys, you're hearing it from one individual who has gone from 0 to hero. I know what I'm talking about. 3 things he just mentioned: discover, feed, and fight. Not external. Fight yourself. That limiting belief, that inner voice that wants to put you down. So you are more or less your own competition. The competition is not out there. Wonderful. Chinda, thank you for taking this time to do this. I am super excited because sitting and listening to you, I have learned a lot over this 30, 40 minutes, listening to you. My mind is re-engineered in certain areas, and I'm like, yes. Guys, we have been talking with the man, the one and only Chinda. He's the only Chinda on planet Earth. If you go onto Google and you ask that question, you will see his face. And we've been talking about the story of his life. You will agree with me. It has been an amazing time hearing him. His story, I could put it within the Guinness Book of World Record frame. It deserves such, an acknowledgement, Oh, thank you for this time. Well, guys, we need to go. But you know how we say it on the show. This is the space where we come in to lean on one another's positivity, to form that positive energy and form a positive path. And today, Chinda has come with his own positivity, adding to what we already have, increasing it in an exponential manner. And we are grateful and thankful to God for this. I can go on and on, but I need to let him go. Till I come your way again. Bye for now. Chinda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome time it has been with you on the World Cafe podcast today. Thank you for being there. You can catch me up on my social media handles: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, all at Amakri Isoboye. Also, you can get copies of my books, A Cocktail of Words, The Color of Words, my HR notebook, and Hocus Focus on God on Amazon and Roving Heights online bookstores. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at the same address at Amakri Isoboye. I love to hear from you and how this podcast has impacted you